and today we will be talking about art and artists. Good artists and bad art, bad artists and good artists and good art. So you'll be wondering by now, what the fuck am I saying? Is it possible to separate the art from the artist? This has been a hugely debated topic, especially these days, because of how many artists, like actors, celebrities, singers, are being exposed for their wrongdoings and their highly problematic behaviors. I am not here to tell you that it is possible or that it is not possible to do so. I am just going to discuss the nuances of both of these topics. So first of all, let me ask you this question. Is it really possible to separate an art from its artist? It sounds like a fairly easy question to answer because, if an artist is a bad person, he's a horrible person, we will definitely not be consuming his art. Like, why would we do so? It's against our morals, it's against the society's morals. So obviously, if a person who's problematic makes art, no matter how good the art is, we will not consume it. That is the absolute answer to that question. But is that really possible? We see an art which is exceptionally beautiful. Maybe it's a song, maybe it's a painting by someone, maybe it's a movie, maybe it's a book that is written by someone which is exceptionally beautiful and creative, and it's a great piece of art. But then eventually you read about the book, you start looking for the author, but unfortunately you find out that the person who has given birth to this particular art is kind of problematic. Maybe he's a sex offender, maybe he's an abuser, or like being a misogynistic person, or being transphobic, or being homophobic. Now we start seeing the art that we found exceptionally beautiful as something which was made by a person who was not that exceptionally beautiful. Where do we stand in that? Do we completely boycott the art and completely succumb to our morals and refuse to consume that art? Or do we still continue to consume the art even after we have acknowledged the fact that the artist is problematic? For example, my favorite singer, who I have been listening to for ages, suddenly is exposed as a person who is a pedophile, or maybe he has sexually assaulted people. That is the moment I realized that the person I have been idolizing and worshipping for so long is not really a great person. He is very flawed and is a problematic person. But I love his art. I love the songs that he has written. He or she has written. I love their songs. I love everything they have done so far. So all of a sudden, I feel like I have to stop listening to these artists, or I have to stop giving them attention. So I will not be supporting someone who's problematic, and I won't be funding something that is against my morals. It sounds fairly easy, right? But do we really have to do that? That is when the other argument comes in, that it is possible to separate the art from the artist. An art is born out of a person. If the person does not exist, the art will not exist. So it is very difficult to separate them completely because they are somehow intertwined. But in most cases, we see that most artists produce art independently. It might not be related to them. It might not be anything that has to do with their life or their personal experiences. And sometimes it might be out of their personal life. A misogynistic artist might write songs about being a misogynistic person. He might degrade women in his art. He might have lyrics that is degrading to women. He might paint pictures that degrade women. He can do all of that. That is showing his inner personality through his art. In other cases, when the artist has nothing to do with his art, he's just doing what he likes, just making random songs about the nature, random things he sees. So the argument in favor of the fact that it is possible to separate the art from the artist is that we can acknowledge that a person is a bad influence, or that person has done problematic things, and still enjoy his work if it does not reflect that person's personality in that art. If a misogynistic person is being explicitly misogynistic in his art, it is kind of difficult to do that, because if you enjoy a misogynistic piece of work, you are also misogynistic. I don't know. I'm not anyone to judge. Also, there might be cases when he is a problematic person and everyone knows it, but his art always talks about maybe kindness, uplifting women, uplifting children, uplifting the poor people. So in that case also, it is very difficult for us to take a side, because this person makes good art and this person is bad, so I can just avoid the fact that he's a bad person and just and I can just separate him completely, sideline him, and listen to what he's saying. But the problem comes in when consumption is equal to profit. As long as we are consuming a problematic person's art, he or she continues to get profit from it. Biggest example I can think of right now is J.K. Rowling, because as a Potterhead, I know how much I have worshipped that woman. I thought she was the epitome of a great woman. She has fairly been less problematic throughout her life. But suddenly one day in 2020, she made a tweet about the trans community, which a lot of people did not like. I will not go into the drama. I'll just state that she made a statement that was not received very well in the trans community or the society as a whole. And from there, she just kept getting worse. And that's when I felt really bad, because this is a person I've grown up with. This person I've admired so much. Her books has given me peace and happiness throughout my childhood. And one day you wake up and realize that she's not really a good person. Where does that leave me? Do I stop reading Harry Potter books? Do I stop admiring the work she has done so far? No, I still love Harry Potter books. I still admire it. I'll still read it. But a margin of the profit still goes to the person who has written it. And it makes me guilty that I'm still contributing it. It will. If you have high conscience and high morals, you might feel guilty. But at the same time, it is not possible for me to completely abandon and boycott her. It might end up making us feel like if we are still consuming the person's art and giving them profit, are we indirectly supporting their statements? Are we indirectly catering to their mindset and promoting it? It is very easy to understand because we live in a capitalist world, okay? Everything we consume every day is part of a big corporate that is polluting the environment, violating human rights. So we are consuming problematic art and problematic things every day. You go to the grocery store and buy a Nestle product. Nestle is famous for violating human rights and not giving a shit about it. The best example would be YouTube or Instagram or any social media platform. We see people saying very bad, problematic stuff and getting away with it. They upload an apology video and their supporters are like, oh my god, he's apologizing, he must be a good person, and they get away with it. They still get paid. And the moment you watch that apology video, they are getting revenue from it. They get lakhs of views and they get revenue from it. And there will be 10 other explanation videos that we are curious to watch. They get revenue from those 10 explanation videos even after they have said something problematic in a previous video. So, unless we as a community collectively decide that we want to boycott this person, or that we want to boycott fast fashion, or that we want to boycott this problematic corporate that is polluting the environment, change will be slow. So if I decide that I am not buying Harry Potter books anymore, I will not promote Harry Potter books and I will not read Harry Potter books, I have changed something in my mind. I feel at peace with myself that I'm not doing something bad. My conscience is happy. But people are still consuming it, so she will still get revenue. So I feel like at this point, the only thing we can do is hold them accountable. Don't let them feel like, oh, even if I do something, I'll get away with it. People are not gonna care. They'll just, still do what they're doing right now. Don't make them feel like that. So when people are ready and brave enough to come to you and tell you that this person has done something bad to me and this person should not be getting this much popularity and fame, you believe them and you make small steps so that you can somehow make that person realize that there will be consequences. That being said, every human being is problematic in some way or the other. And in a society where cancel culture is very high due to these kind of things happening, I would say everything is good in moderation. The only thing we can do is when they're exposed, please hold them accountable. Don't be a stupid fan who, supports their idol and celebrity crush no matter what they do. I've seen a lot of people defending all of these celebrities in the comments. Oh my god, that person did this, because of that, blah blah blah. Don't do that. If your idol is exposed to be a problematic person, acknowledge that. When someone tells you that so and so has done this and they are being convicted or they are being accused of blah blah blah, whatever, acknowledge that. Tell them that, okay, I know this person is problematic and I do not support their actions, I fully condemn their actions, but I somehow like their art still, so I will try to not consume them, but it is not a linear process. You cannot stop consuming something in one day. Discussions should happen. People should talk about it, come as a community and discuss all of these things and exchange whatever knowledge they have and try to build our own knowledge first before, putting it out there to the public. So you've listened to me so far. Now I want to ask you a question. Is it really problematic to consume a problematic person's art, or is that really not a big deal for you? I want to know what you guys think, and please tell me in the comments what you think about this. That's about my video. Thank you for listening to me. Bye bye.